Welcome to the second part of our series on Sapa in northwestern Vietnam, an area known for its spectacular natural beauty and colorful hill tribe culture. In the final leg of our journey, we'll travel above the clouds and scale Vietnam's highest peak. We'll trek through Sapa's traditional villages and spectacular rice terraces to see how the country's hill tribe minorities and a new generation of luxury properties are welcoming travelers from all over the world. So join us, I'm David Celdran. This is Executive Class. It's a new morning in Sapa, and the sun is rising above the Bong Hoa Valley, where I'm enjoying my stay at the Hotel de la Coupole M Gallery. Too bad there's little time to enjoy the magnificent mountain views and the splendid breakfast spread, because I need to catch the first train to Fansipan, Vietnam's highest mountain. Alright, we're taking a shortcut to Fansipan. Fortunately, the brand new station is connected to the hotel, so I arrived just in time to board a tourist train. Alright, here's a train. The train's going to take us to the cable car station and from that station to Fansipan. This railway line is entirely new, built to cut travel time between Sapa and the base of Fansipan, which was once only accessible by trekking on foot. Amazing view. Up until recently, it used to take 4 to 5 days to get to Fansipan and back to Sapa. Today, less than half a day, thanks to the building of a railway and cable car system. The railway line ends at the Sun World Fansipan Legends Terminal within a vast park. But it's only the first half of the trip, although visitors can enjoy the natural views or the man-made attractions, whether or not they continue the journey to the summit. For those who remember trekking from Sapa to Fansipan, even just a decade ago, all this would be unrecognizable, unbelievable, and I would believe for some, regrettable. Nevertheless, you can't deny, it's made the journey from Sapa to Fansipan so much more convenient and allowed more people to see the beauty of the mountain. Well, I guess scenery this beautiful can't be hidden from the rest of humanity forever, and modern technology has made it so much easier for tourists to discover. Regardless of what you think about mass tourism and development, you have to admire the Vietnamese for really taking tourism infrastructure seriously. In case you're wondering, the cable car is entirely safe and state-of-the-art, installed and operated by Doppelmayr, a leading cable car company. Sapa's cable car system holds 2 Guinness World Records, the longest non-stop 3-rope cable car ride spanning 6.3 kilometers, and the greatest elevation difference, 1,410 meters from base to the peak. It's a smooth but exhilarating 20-minute ride above the Bong Hoa Valley and further up the clouds until you finally reach the summit. Wow, that was the longest cable car ride I've ever taken in my life. And boy, is it cold up here. It's not quite the highest point just yet. You'll need to scale a few hundred more steps to the summit, but at over 3,000 meters already, This is higher than any other point in the country, and you immediately feel it. It's really cold up here, so it'll be fooled by the temperature in Sapa. Cold as it is there, the temperature starts to drop by 10, maybe even 15 degrees once you reach the peak of Fansipan. So make sure you bring an extra layer of clothing. Whew. Whew. The best time to visit the peak is, well, any other time except winter, when heavy snow on the summit makes it unbearable, except to the most experienced climbers, many of whom have since moved on to face more challenging conquests. Instead, you'll find tour groups and families here, and pilgrims who come to pray at the foot of a newly erected giant Buddha image. Once known as the elusive rooftop of Indochina, Fansipan is more like a theme park today, complete with a restaurant and a souvenir shop, and a cheerful funicular ride to the top. It's not what I expected at 3,143 meters above, but hey, it's good to see so many Vietnamese enjoying a part of their patrimony that was once the exclusive retreat of a mountaineering elite. So here we are, the highest peak of Vietnam. This is Mount Fansipan, as you can see the marker, the highest summit in Vietnam. And before the cable car system was installed, only the most hardened mountaineers could reach the peak, and only a few of them actually. Today, you see children, you see the elderly, you see so many people here. I don't know, for me, it's a bit like cheating nature, but of course I'm happy to be here. Somehow it was all too easy to get here, to even brag about it. But there's a sense of achievement most people feel nevertheless. I guess it's pride in how fast their country has developed, symbolized by the engineering marvel that has taken them to the top. They say that on a calm and clear day you can see across the border to China, but the view of the Tonkinese Alps is breathtaking, even when shrouded by clouds. But it's starting to get too windy. Even the new flag above the summit is starting to unravel. Good thing there's a funicular ride back to the base that leaves every few minutes. Trips to the summit include a round-trip cable car ticket, so make sure not to lose it in the wind, or you'll be stuck at the peak. Thank goodness they've installed such a fantastic cable car system. It's so stable. You hardly feel anything despite the howling winds around you. In other words, I'll have no use for this. My crew and I are the only foreigners in this car, and most of those we saw at the peak were lowland Vietnamese. The mountains and hill tribes of Sapa, apparently, are just as foreign to them as they are to me. This newfound curiosity for this remote part of the country, combined with modern tourism infrastructure and world-class amenities, are what's driving the tourist boom here. Luxury hotels are among the new developments making Sapa more attractive to upscale travelers. Apart from the French-run M Gallery, the Vietnamese-owned Silk Path Grand Resort and Spa on a private hill is Sapa's only other certified 5-star property. It's really nice and peaceful here and quiet. It doesn't feel like you're in the middle of Sapa, which we actually are, just that we're higher than all the other hotels in town. This is a Silk Path hotel, and that's why they call themselves the one address above all, because it is. The sprawling 152-room hotel built on a ridge provides guests with uninterrupted views of Fansipan
and the Huanglian Mountains. The high elevation and secluded location keep guests away from the dust and noise of construction in the town center.
One of the other highlights of Silk Path, apart from its elevated location above Sapa, is the lovely French Indo-Chinese architecture. And of course, the many rose gardens and flower paths that you come across in the property.
The design of the hotel harks back to when Sapa was a French hill station, a place in the mountains where the French colonial elite and military officers could escape the heat of the lowlands to rejuvenate their health and enjoy quiet walks through mountain paths and forests. Silk Path attempts to recreate the experience, the same views of the Tonkinese Alps from balconies built into every room, and peaceful gardens with a perfume scent of flowers in bloom.
This is such a beautiful spot. Could have been a scene straight out of Provence in the south of France, one of those wonderful restaurants there. But of course, this is not France. I have to remind myself that I am in Sapa, in northwestern Vietnam. But believe me, when you walk into this hotel, this resort, it's very hard to tell the difference sometimes, especially with the beautiful flower beds outside.
Olivio, the hotel's elegant Italian Mediterranean restaurant, could just as easily be mistaken for a fine establishment in Tuscany or Provence. The quality of wine, and the food especially, with fresh ingredients grown in a mild highland climate that's similar to the Mediterranean. Only the murals of hill tribe women at the entrance and the gentle service of the staff help you remember you're in Sapa instead. Or at least that part of Sapa that's increasingly sophisticated. Indeed, establishments like the Silk Path Grand are changing the way the world perceives this remote corner of Vietnam.
Exactly. In Sapa in the past, it has always been put in the position of backpackers' havens, right? But time have changed recently, and a lot of luxury, I would say, guests who has a little bit to spend, right? They want a little bit of a luxury rather than where the other smaller scale hotels. So that's where we come in, right? We offer international standards, but blend in together with the Vietnamese hospitality. In Vietnam, there's 54 ethnic groups, right? And they're all very colorful. Different groups have different representation and different colors. And it's all represented in our rooms, basically. Yeah, so that will give you a feel of, yes, you are in a luxury hotel, yes, but you are also basically exposed into the local flavors.
You're talking about the colors,
The colors.
you're talking about the patterns.
The patterns.
And of course, the views.
Oh yes, of course.
Make you, no doubt, you know
Yes.
where you are, right?
Yes, of course. And in fact, the rooms, I mean, one of the good thing about our rooms is they all come with a full view balcony, you know, on the mountain ranges.
By incorporating nature and indigenous culture in the guest experience, the Silk Path Grand hopes to capitalize on Sapa's two most important assets: its colorful hill tribe tradition and majestic mountain location. Both of which we'll get to experience intimately when our journey to Sapa comes to an end, with a trek to the village of the ethnic Hmong tribe in Kat Kat, and a final farewell to Sapa amidst the rice terraces of Tavan at sunset.